Hello, friends. Hey, Jamie. How are you? Good to see you. I hope Casey's doing well after these days. Hope he's getting a break in the future. Morning, Sharon. How are you? Great to see you. Good morning, Donna. Glad you're here. So good to see you. Good morning, Amy. Hello, hello. Hello, Irene. Great to see you. Hi, John. How are you? Great to see you. Good to see everybody. Bob Guinan. Hello. Hey, thank you, John. It is my birthday. Thank you, Irene. I appreciate it. How are we gonna sing? It'll, well, we will survive without the singing. Good morning, Bob Guinan. Great to see you. Glad everybody is well. Thank you for the good morning, Donna. Thank you. Hi, Linda. Great to see you. Hello, friends. So glad you're all here. Thank you. Thank you. It is a good day. Yep. 51, starting on my 52nd year. So, good morning, Gail. How are you? Great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hello, everybody. Got a little shaky cam going this morning because how many candles on the cake this year? 51 candles on the cake. Good morning, Yvette. How are you? Great to see everybody. How are you? Hi, everybody. So, good morning, Irene. Hello, hello. Hey, Carmen, how are you? Thank you. So glad. That's nice. How is everyone? I hope you are weathering these hard days. It is the third day of June at 11/11, 2020. It is a Wednesday. You're singing happy birthday at home. Goodness. Well, thank you. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? So we are, it is my birthday. So I decided to take 11/11 to one of my favorite places. And I am sitting here at the helm of our home. Not every home has a helm, but ours does. And that we're here, and it will take us places. So we're here on the Divine Providence. So I want to share with you, and these are heavy days, man. Like, I spent into the wee hours last night, doing nothing but watching good parts of the world burn. Places I've been, places I've loved, like places I've had a good time. Standing in Washington D.C., standing in Seattle, standing in all sorts of places that the streets that I've walked, and watching people tear at each other. And so it may be my birthday, but it is also a heavy day for all of us as we're kind of watching these events unfold amidst all these things. So and it brought me to the great question of, like, how are we supposed to be in these days? And so and whenever I ask that question, I always look toward the book of James, because, like, if I were to be described, I'll just talk about me today because it's my birthday. Why not? So if I were to describe myself in some ways. Good morning, Cecile. How are you? Great to see you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I would describe myself, I think, as a Johannine and Jamesian Christian. Like, I think that's my, like, Johannine meaning, taking from the Gospel of John. I think John is closer and more beautiful and more right than not that the others are wrong, obviously, but it jams with me. And Jamesian in the sense of how the epistles kind of tell us a bit how to be the church, like how to be in this world. And I think James, with all apologies to Paul and with all apologies to the other epistle writers, James was Jesus's brother. He had to have an inside line, right? But he's also, like, just, I believe, spot on. And he has, I think, something for us about these days. And so So here we are, the third chapter of James. So I'm going to read this part for you. It says, and none of us is perfectly qualified to speak. He's talking about teaching and speaking. He says, none of us are perfectly qualified. He says, we get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouths. If you could find someone whose speech was perfectly true, you'd have a perfect person in perfect control of life. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. I think this notion of a word out of our mouth can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it is what we're bearing out in witness to today. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Priscilla. And that these words, morning, Maggie, that as these words come out of people's mouths, the rhetoric of hate that's been perpetrated on that comes out about, and then the way that has been translating into action, the way that has been translating into being. That how we, as we bear witness to this, often feel powerless in the midst of that. And what I think James reminds us of is how powerful we actually are in this. You see, because I think this helm that I'm sitting at, I'll try and turn it around here and show it to you. This helm that I'm sitting at, you see, there is a wheel. And there is a compass. And the wheel and the compass are the primary ways we navigate. And the primary way we move this vessel where it goes. You see, I've spent a lot of time at this wheel. I've spent a lot of time at the going from port to starboard and back again. And I will tell you that not every turn I have made with this boat has been the right one. Not every time that the helm was supposed to go to port did it go to port, and not every time it was supposed to go to starboard did it go to starboard. But what I will tell you that we can that through the guidance of the compass, through the guidance of teaching, through the guidance of I think the compass in many ways is the very scripture of our lives and the very holiness of engaging that in all of those ways that we can. It has found its way to every port it has ever tried to make that I've been the privilege of captaining it. So I think this is our speech too. This is the way in which we come to speak. Is we don't always get it right. But if we hold true the destination, the thing we point at, the place we are set to go, in that we then begin to find our way home and to port. You see, I think the real wisdom, the real beauty of James comes at the end of the chapter. He says that our tongue, this is what our tongue is like. Our tongue is just like the rudder of a great ship. And that what we talk about and what we say, what we speak into being. Remember, in Genesis, we talked about this a few days ago. In Genesis, how did creation come into being? God spoke it into being. What we speak into the world is probably the most powerful thing we have. You can say, it's words don't matter, or it's what we do. But friends, what we speak is what we will give action to. What we speak is what we will give action to. You can look at the history of Europe, and the Holocaust that happens in the mid-20th century is set up by 500 years of speech against the Jewish people in Germany and other places in Europe. We speak it into being long before it arrives. We turn the helm toward the destinations that we have set before us long before we arrive there. So I want to invite you to hear the end here of what James, and I think this is just spot on what James has to offer us for this day. He asks us this question. He says, do you want to be counted wise? Do you want to build a reputation for wisdom? Here's what you do. Live well. Live wisely. Live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. Mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Twisting the truth to make yourself sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal cunning. It's devilish conniving. Whenever you try to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart and everyone ends up at the other's throats. Real wisdom, God's wisdom, begins with a holy life and is characterized by getting along with others. It is gentle and reasonable, overflowing with mercy and blessings, not hot one day and cold the next, not two-faced. You can develop a healthy, robust community that lives right with God and enjoys its results only if you do the hard work of getting along with each other and treating each other with dignity and honor. And so much of that begins with that little rudder that's in the front of our face. So much of that begins with what we would speak into being in our days. So much of that begins with what we would incarnate, not just in our flesh and in our being, but what we would bring into the world and what we offer and what we give in our speech in our days. So friends, we are powerful beyond measure. Because you have somebody in your life right now, that you have somebody that is begging for a word of encouragement, whose heart is breaking over and they can't make sense of it. You can be that word of encouragement. There are people out there right now that are lost, that have no compass and have no rudder, and are just and they're hot and cold and all over the map, and that you can speak into them the grand beauty of creation and joy. And in doing so, you speak it into yourselves. That's the beauty of it. That when you point your vessel towards something something higher and something more beautiful, you not only put someone else in tow, but you get there yourself. Friends, we are watching the world burn in a lot of ways. And I can only encourage and ask that you speak into this time the very highest and very best and most beautiful of harbors and destinations. That granted, you won't get it right every time. Every turn of the wheel won't be the right one. But know that if you hold true to your compass, you hold true to the North Star of Christ and the heading that God has called you into, in that and that alone, you will find that you are setting a course for others to follow. So I want to invite you, be a Jamesian Christian with me today, and be a part of this speaking into the world, that of beauty and grace and goodness and love and wisdom, that we might know what it is to treat one another with dignity and honor, so that we might know dignity and honor as well. All right, friends, that's what I've got for you today. It is my birthday, so I'm going to go do something birthday-ish. So it is, and it's a beautiful day here. So I am a very lucky and blessed and fortunate man. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll have another 11:11. We'll be off campus tomorrow too. So it's exciting. Who knows where we'll be? Every one of you that are here, I appreciate. Jeremy Wood is here, friends. One of the best pastors I've ever met in my life, and I am honored to call him friend. Such a great guy. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for journeying with us on this. Every one of you, I know I say this all the time, but every one of your little digital faces is an encouragement to me. It is you speaking dignity and honor to me that you'll accompany us all on this journey. So invite others, encourage others, and be a part of this our Jamesian solution to the world. All right, friends, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.